How SSL connections work in load balancers. To use HTTPS or SSL listeners, SSL certificates have to be deployed on the load balancer node. This is our setup with client browser, application load balancer, and backend instances in target groups. For HTTP to work, we have to deploy SSL certificates on the load balancer node. AWS Certificate Manager is very well integrated with load balancers and can be used here. Connection from client is terminated and decrypted before sending it to the backend instance. When a request comes using HTTPS to the load balancer, this connection is terminated on the load balancer and a new connection is started between load balancer and backend EC2 instances. This connection can use HTTPS or SSL for encryption of traffic between load balancers and target groups. To use HTTPS and SSL connection between load balancer and instances, SSL certificates must also be deployed on the EC2 instances. So SSL certificates have to be deployed on the EC2 instances too. Remember encryption at level 4, which we discussed in the pre-ELB talk? These are the certificates provided by certificate authorities. And the certificates are X509 server certificates. Finally, we have network load balancer, which uses only TCP protocol, works at layer 4 of OSI model, has two components, listeners and target groups. Let's see a demo right away. Network load balancers are no different than application load balancers, except for the fact that network load balancer supports only TCP protocol. So I've created a target group as usual, just in the case we did it with application load balancer. This is the target group details. The protocol is TCP, port is 80, and this target group has been created in the VPC, ELB-VPC, which we have been using in our load balancer demos. I have added these four instances. All are in the private subnet, private 1A1, 1C1, 1C2 and 1A2. As of now, they are unused because I have not added this target group to any of the load balancers. Let's go ahead and create the load balancer now. As usual, click on load balancers, click on create load balancer. This time around, we'll be using network load balancer rather than application load balancer. Click on create, give it a name, AWS Foundation NLB. And if you see here in listeners, we have only TCP, nothing else is there. You can have only TCP protocol for network load balancers. In the AZs, this AZ is for the load balancer, not for EC2 instances. We'll have to select public subnets as you have been doing for classic and application load balancer. So all subnets are public subnets, and then you can tag it. In configure routing, we'll have to select a target group. We'll select an existing target group which you have just created. The protocol has to be TCP. In fact, we cannot change it. And then the health check settings are as usual. Then add these targets which have already been added to the target group, review and create the network load balancer. After creation, the state of the load balancer would be in provisioning. Now this load balancer is registering all the EC2 instances which are there in the target group. It will take some time for the targets to be up and running. If you go to the target groups and click on this particular target group, you'll see the status is initial. That means target registration is in progress. It will take some time because of our health check settings, which is this. Our interval is 30 seconds and healthy threshold and unhealthy thresholds are 2. The number of counts are 2. So it will take minimum 1 minute for the targets to be healthy first and then to be registered in the load balancer. After some time, the status of all the EC2 instances changes to healthy. That means the registration is done. The rest of the things are same. We'll use the network load balancer DNS name to go to the EC2 instances, which will do a round robin traffic distribution.